record. That's funny that it feels like so long. It's been
I
like 10
know.
days.
Wow. Hold on, let me get out of the way there. You've been so busy.
I was busy on vacation doing,
Yeah.
cooking, eating, walking in the woods and playing cards.
Your photos looked really pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because I was looking at them and I was thinking, I wonder if they called it the Berkshires because it looks like the Berkshires in England so much.
Mm.
I mean,
Mm.
it has that bucolic
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. I love doing those kinds of Facebook albums because then they come back up for you. In fact, I was thinking to do one for the Portland visit, but then I don't know, some aspects of that just felt a little too private. But I like
Yeah,
having the Facebook because then like 5 years from now, it'll be like your memories, right? And then you'll see
exactly.
that whole album again. Yeah.
I know what you mean about the too private thing. I check myself a lot. And then I think, oh, do I really want to post that? Some things that are kind of, I don't know. I have to remind myself that my mom sees this shit sometimes.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
that I really care, but
Right. Right. Yeah,
yeah.
and for me on Facebook, I have at some point in Indonesia, you just have to decide, am I going to have 1,000 Indonesian Facebook friends or zero? Right. So I have, of course, like 1,000. And that doesn't bother me so much. Like
Yeah.
I think they're kind of interested to see, what life looks like here. But I don't know. There's just some things that feel private. But
Yeah.
um yeah, so that was more just I wasn't really busy. I was just away, and that was like no cell phone coverage at that house. So we did have Wi-Fi, but I wasn't gonna like get out I could do like WhatsApp, right? But anyway, there
Yeah.
was no use for it. Just who needs it?
I love that feeling so much. I feel so
Yeah,
liberated when I'm sleeping outside in a tent and not worrying about, I just I'm so glad that I don't have to look at my phone or my iPad or anything. There's no
right,
reason because
right,
what's in front of me is perfect.
right, right, right. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
so that was good. And then last night, there was actually nothing really going on at Dulles by the time we got there, except that we got to give some relief to my colleagues who, have been there for going on 2 weeks now, I think. So there were a number, I think maybe about 30 of my colleagues deployed out to Dulles full time, like they're staying at a hotel and they're
Yeah.
staffing the area. Well, there's two areas. One, when the planes arrive, they
Mhm.
basically have a whole area of Dulles that's where they're bringing people through. And of course, they have to like bring them in, COVID test them, get all their documents,
Yeah.
and they're doing things that do. I mean, it's an emergency refugee, situation. So they're like giving them a cell phone. They're doing all of
Yeah.
this like
I,
intake stuff.
I saw the article the NPR article that you posted and I was like, oh my God, look at the artwork and I was
Yeah,
like, "God, I really wish that I would be there in a heartbeat.
yeah,
Color kids,
yeah,
my goodness. I'm
yeah.
so glad that you went. I really am. And
Yeah,
that's,
so I didn't really see. We saw, I don't know, a dozen or so families come through, and they were in. I mean, some of the stories we were hearing were, the families who basically got out of Kabul. I mean, I'm sure you saw some of the news where
oh,
they were just
yeah,
planes
it
were
was
taking
really,
off without
yeah,
people's luggage and
yeah. It was hard. It was a lot of emotion that went around all of that.
yeah.
And I still have not talked to my brother about it, but I'm
Hmm.
guessing that he probably feels the same way that Mark Milley does.
Yeah. Yeah.
That he would have had the same type of reply.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but people, and this week, I guess people have been stuck in military bases in Qatar and
yeah,
Germany that are absolutely not set up, don't have anything, like don't have diapers, don't have menstrual pads, and so people
yeah,
are showing up exhausted. I even stuff like people were saying like the kids had like lost their shoe, like kids didn't have shoes and
yeah.
babies hadn't been changed in
I can
like
see
really
how-
bad diaper rash and
It
I'm
would
sure
be
the planes
very-
were just trying to deal, the best
Yeah.
that they could with it. But a lot of times people had been on the tarmac for, 5, 10, 15 hours, just sitting on the tarmac in Dulles because they couldn't bring everybody through quick enough.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of
legit-
people
they,
and it's this, it's not even as big as a gymnasium, the processing center. And they, they have to do the COVID test and then wait for the test and then get them on the expo, get them out to the expo center and
They have them down, they
Wow.
have them in Dulles International Terminal. I mean, in the customs area. Isn't that where they brought them in and sent them off to the side? That, you're right.
yeah,
that's
it's
not-
kind of in between, like if you go in, if you went to check in right in the middle of the terminal, you might remember there's like TSA on the left and TSA on the right. And there's
Mhm.
this whole middle section that, who knows what they usually use it for, but that middle section was the area that was blocked off. And I would say it could probably fit 500 people if
Yeah,
everybody was
that's the night
standing, right?
before.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure.
but then there's all these tables and there's like, Homeland Security and CDC and
Wow.
DHS and immigration. So I don't even know how Save the Children got in there. It was Red Cross was doing healthcare. So people were coming in with there were 3 women, according to my colleagues, that had given birth en route
Mhm.
and were like carrying newborns. They said one of them like still had the wet umbilical cord, like, or
Oh.
like not a wet, but like the
Yeah,
the
a
umbilical
little-
cord that hadn't come off yet.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I just,
Yeah.
the whole thing is really, it's a lot to process, and I'm
Yeah.
just grateful. I'm really grateful that the people that were able to get out got out.
Yeah.
I really would like to see more.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, I think we still have, I
Yeah.
think we have about 1,500 applications of people trying to get out who are currently or previously affiliated with Save the Children and their families
well,
Holy shit.
let's,
that are the Afghans that are stuck.
yeah. Well, I guess it's just we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with the government.
Yeah.
Fuck, those guys are fuckers.
Yeah, they are real fuckers. They are real
Ugh.
fuckers.
I mean, when I think about the level of hate that they have towards women,
Yeah.
just blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, and I don't know if I said this before on a call. I don't work that much directly with our Afghan colleagues, so I don't know many of them on like a personal level, but any of our staff who've been there or supported them are all just getting desperate messages on every single channel. Like we had to set up a whole like helpline because, just so much of this desperate. So a lot of my colleagues were themselves kind of traumatized because they just kept getting these WhatsApp and email messages like, please help me, on Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm sure people felt like they had no other, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
you reach out wherever you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a rumor that one of our gender advisors was forced married to a Taliban fighter,
Oh,
which
God.
is terrible enough. I mean, I'm sure that happens. I kind of do wonder if it's a rumor, like it, or that people are thinking that's what's going to happen, and then that kind of becomes the
What happened?
truth.
Yeah. I'm sure that there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of just a lot of stuff going around that
Yeah.
may or may not be true.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Astrid, how are you?
Yeah. So what has everybody else been up to?
It took me 10 minutes to get in here. I had to go to Don's iPad. I gave up on my laptop.
Well, I don't know if you've heard, but I'm dealing with my own refugee crisis of sorts. But
No, what's that?
this is a Danish exchange student who is friends of no, she's the daughter of friends of Kate and Craig's and Evie and Mark's. who is on arrived. If she's 15, she arrived in Salem, Oregon, on an exchange year, and finds herself in this really substandard sort of host family situation.
Oh, goodness.
In that it is a brand new host parent who doesn't have kids and has a rambunctious, aggressive Great Dane who just terrifies this poor child. And
Oh
so
my God.
Kate and Evie reached out and said, wouldn't Astrid and Steve be great as host parents?
Oh,
Wait, showed up in Salem, Washington, and they're
Salem,
moving.
Oregon,
Oh, Salem,
Yeah.
Oregon. How far
Salem,
is that from you?
45
No.
minutes. Not.
Okay.
is she going to school? What's going on?
Yeah. So this is one of those State Department youth exchange programs, right? She's here on a J1. She arrived a few weeks ago.
Is it
And-
AFS?
No, on this side, it's Pan Atlantic Foundation on this end.
Okay.
And so her parents are in a tizzy, and sort of sent up the flare and said, does
Wait, so
anybody-
Kate and Evie are friends with this girl's parents who
Yes,
are Danish?
who are Danish and Finnish. Yeah, I guess they know them from.
What a
afar.
coincidence that you have
Oh,
a.
no, it's humanitarian, right?
I guess so, but anyway.
Small world.
Yeah,
Well,
small world. That's what I mean.
They reached
Yeah.
out, they activated the network saying we need a new host family. And so then the message came to us a few days ago. And so now we've been activated. Freya, we talked to Freya about it, and she goes, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. And of course, all Steve and I can think is like, what if this was Freya on exchange somewhere? I mean, wouldn't you want the universe to provide a
Right.
Yes.
a better option than what she's dealing with, like this aggressive dog that's terrifying her
That's
But that's
really-
like that's for a whole year? Or is
for
it?
the school year. Mhm.
Oh, wow.
So you have to go through the process. So is she with you now?
No, she's still in Salem. So we're completing our end of the process, getting qualified as a host family in a hurry. That completes tonight with a home visit, and then the regional coordinator is still trying to get through to Portland Public School District to snag a spot in a high school.
Oh, thank goodness.
Wow. But that's.
She
There
should
are
be with
spots
you by the
available.
weekend, right? She should be with you by the weekend.
Yeah, or first thing next week. Yeah,
Yay.
because who doesn't need another teenager?
You guys are the perfect fit. It's going to be great.
I mean, if you got one, why not have two or three?
In a weird way,
Bring it even more.
I think two teen girls may actually parent each other. I'm
Oh my
hoping.
gosh.
fingers crossed.
Hopefully they get along.
I know,
I-
right?
Or maybe not. I don't know. I've known
cares,
I've known
right?
AFS students where the kids aren't best friends, and that's worked out okay as well, right?
Yeah, I think it could. I mean, they will be in different schools most likely because I think the Metropolitan Learning Center where Freya goes is too small a school to even qualify for the program. I think so. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, it's so but yeah, that's been the entertaining. That's
Oh my
our own.
gosh.
It's not really on par with the real refugee crisis, but it is a refugee
No, but it's
crisis.
a parental emergency and that's important. That qualifies.
Yeah.
Yay.
I mean, that's last week I saw on my neighborhood listserv that they were desperate for an AFS host family for an Indonesian student.
Mhm.
And it was kind of last call. If we don't find somebody, the student isn't going to be able to do the study abroad program. And I was like, we have a guest room.
Uh-huh.
But no, very tempted, but didn't do it. That's
Yeah.
a big commitment, Astrid.
Mhm.
That's huge.
Yeah, we met her parents who were simpatico, and we may be
Yeah.
going vacationing in Denmark next summer anyway. And
I think the
We're
thing
like-
that you do have that you know the parents, that's
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, we were
Less of a
not in the
wild
market.
card.
We were not in the market for just a random exchange student, right? But the
Right.
fact that these are friends of friends,
Yeah.
and we're simpatico with the parents. The girl sounds like a total go-getter. She organized this exchange all by herself, according to her parents, right? And was
Wow.
really determined to make a go of it. But then to land in a situation where it sounds like her host parent doesn't really have control of her dog, and is a hesitant parent, like doesn't really know how to relate to a teenager. I don't know what this woman was thinking, like how this was a good idea to go
Wait,
from
how
not
do you
parent-
relate to a teenager?
exactly right? Like honestly, Chris, would you just think it's a great idea to have a 15-year-old teen come live with you?
Not the
Yeah.
few that I know.
Right? Yeah, anyway.
Oh,
so the wine
goodness.
bottles a little bit.
Must have been pleased that, you know, that you guys have a Danish connection, that, you know, that you guys that got everything got the whole package.
Well, we'll see about that. But anyway, so it's been amusing to sort of contemplate.
Wow. That poor
whole-
kid. That's
I know.
that's
And Salem, for fuck's sake.
I know. Like North Salem High. That's
Take
what
it
I said,
down.
right.
Wow. Some trash talking on Salem.
I'm trash talking on Salem here.
Yep.
No
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. So we may be +1 teenager here soon.
That's gonna be exciting. It's gonna make for an interesting autumn. So she stays until Christmas, is that right?
Oh, she'd be here for the whole school year.
Oh, that's
Well,
even
next
better.
June. Yeah, I know, right?
is she a junior or a senior?
I think at the moment they have her, she's 15. I think they have her in sophomore.
Oh,
but I think
sophomore. Yeah.
She could
Yeah.
probably go either way. You know, the Danes are
That's
probably
young,
ahead
yeah.
academically, but
Yeah.
They'll probably put her in a bunch of advanced AP classes.
right.
Yeah.
But she's, you know, she talks about riding her bike. We've been looking at, you know, and it turns out there are spots in Portland Public. We just haven't closed the loop with the district effectively.
Right.
Yeah. Well, she should be able to get into Cleveland, right?
Well,
Maybe.
so it's like a whole program thing. I've learned a lot about all this in the last, I don't know, 72 hours, 96 hours, whatever. Yeah, it turns out it's like a whole program, and there's like a finite number of spaces inside Portland Public School District and then inside each school, which this
Right.
local coordinator could see. Like she could inspect and say, oh, it looks like Cleveland has one spot and it looks like Franklin High has several
Right.
spots. And then it's just a matter of, you know, transferring the file from one school
Yeah.
district to the other, hopefully.
Right. Right.
Franklin's pretty, I don't know, it's a pretty cool school.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
think they've been through the
located.
whole renovation.
It's not
And-
that big. It's a,
Yeah.
you know, it's a reasonable size, so.
You know, it's weird because we the way we sit on the school district boundary, we're in Cleveland district, but Franklin is actually closer as the crow flies. It's
I
weird.
can see that. Yeah.
Go figure.
Those
It'd be easy to
crows.
get to,
Those crows, yeah, the murder crows.
You probably
Every
enjoy
time,
that.
honest to God, Laurel, every time I see a squadron of them flying overhead, I'm going,
No.
has your crow reappeared?
No, no. I actually have been walking down that street the past couple of weeks, tempting fate. The crow has not come back. So
It gave up on you.
gave up on me or moved out or
Followed somebody else home.
yeah, following somebody else home. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's big news, Astrid.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't wait. This is good. Think about what we're gonna get to hear about all year. This is gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, entertainment
forward to
guaranteed.
Oh.
Well, Dana,
well,
did you go?
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead. I was going to say I have to actually go a little. Somebody's
Okay.
need me to go to a meeting. So, but go
Okay.
ahead. I can spend 5 more minutes. What are you going to ask, Dana?
I was just curious if you went camping last week. Where did you go?
I just took some time to, I don't know, just regroup,
Okay,
vegetate.
but you didn't go camping.
No, I wish I had.
Well,
I haven't
yeah,
been-
we're thinking of it, but
There. It's getting close to, like this last, you know, because it was the holiday weekend, and then this last week, a lot of the places are closing early this year. They used to go
Mm.
through to the end of September and early October, and now, they're closing like next weekend, and I'm guessing that
really?
it's.
Is that
um,
because of weather or fire or
I think it might be a
Capacity.
resource thing.
resort like staffing and
Yeah, but that's just what it shows up on the calendar, like the recreation.gov and whatnot calendar. So I just gave up. I was like, fuck it. I'll just
I'll have
wait
to keep
until
an eye on that.
January.
Well, we're gonna go next week to Central Oregon, but it just seems like a big smoke fest out there. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
we're planning on doing, well, if we can go, Dawn, we have that horse riding trip in a couple weeks.
Where's that?
In Fossil?
Oh shit, you guys are gonna go horse trekking?
Just for a day, like two,
Oh,
that's
that's-
about all I can do. I said, Dawn, I'll go with you for like a couple hours, 3 hours. That's it. She's gonna check it out, and then if she likes
You're
it,
not
she'll have her
gonna
friend come out and they'll
25
do it for a
round trip.
couple. They'll do for a couple days. But
Yeah,
but we were
Um,
planning on camping before or after, and right now I'm like, well, let's just try after. Maybe there'll be some rain, or I don't know. I don't want to go out there camping.
And not as, if you can just drive home, Chris, or,
Well, if they're riding the horses, we're trying to find out if they're taking the horses out.
I
Because
see.
Bend and some of the cities, it's basically hazardous. Like this weekend, it was
Yeah.
like stay indoors.
Hmm.
It's not
Probably what
safe.
it was like.
as well as the human, not safe for horses or humans.
Yeah, so I mean, they have lungs too, so. I
Well,
don't
if
know
you do
they're
that,
doing.
don't forget your ibuprofen and your Bengay.
Yes. Hopefully there's not a whole lot of trotting. Maybe if we just walk, I'll be good.
Okay.
Hopefully there's not a lot of trotting.
Yes, the last time I rode, for some reason, they decided to do trotting and that was rather painful.
Chris, just stand lightly in your stirrups. If you have to trot, just do it like a low stand squat, so you're not,
I'm just
Getting
gonna
up.
I'll wear my bike
got-
shorts and more padding.
you've got the muscles. You can stand in the stirrups.
Yeah, I don't know if bike shorts are gonna help that
No.
much on a trotting horse.
No,
That makes my legs shake.
Oh,
All
but you
right,
guys
well,
are
we can-
around this week, yeah?
Yep.
yes.
Okay. Well, I should be around the rest of the week. I'm still, of course, whenever you take vacation for a week, then everything piles up. So now, I don't know, people are like,
No good
whatever people
vacation
are
goes
like,
unpunished.
exactly,
Joel.
exactly. All right.